It's a notable opening. This might be the offset chamber. Another anomaly. It's this one at the northern tip of the swamp. Hopefully, Emma can. These were the words uttered in the course of a routine dig that sealed the start of what turned out to be one of the most astounding discoveries in archaeological history. For over 2 centuries, Oak Island, a small patch of land off the coast of Nova Scotia, has been the stage for mystery, speculation, obsession, and tragedy. Its secret, whispered through centuries of rumor and legend, began in the late 18th century when 3 young men stumbled upon a curious depression in the earth. This discovery prompted them to start excavating what would become the notorious Money Pit. What they found would spark a lasting odyssey: unexplained layers of logs laid in an orderly manner, coconut fibers unknown to the islanders, veiled suggestions of booby-trapped flooding tunnels, and sporadic artifacts that hinted at human presence infinitely more complex than simple burial. If this kind of story touches your heart, if you're someone who cares about truth, responsibility, and speaking up for the voiceless, please like this video, subscribe to our channel Spark Science, and share it with someone who should hear it. Let's get started. Centuries of treasure seekers, historians, and fantasists trod in their footsteps, each one believing that just below the ground was a fortune or a remnant of earth-shattering significance. Fortunes were wasted, lives were lost, and still the enigma deepened. Was it pirate booty buried by Captain Kidd? Forgotten writings of William Shakespeare? Jewels smuggled by royalty from Europe? Or something even more ancient, connected with the mysterious Knights Templar? With each theory, new explorers came, and with each failure, the mystery of the island grew stronger. Oak Island was not only a location, but a legend, a puzzle that teased human ambition. The mystery eluded solution for centuries. Tunnels collapsed, flood traps flooded shafts with seawater, and men departed empty-handed. But in the 21st century, when technology was more advanced than raw picks and shovels, the tides began to shift. The answer did not arrive with a solitary stunning blow of the spade but by an assiduous union of science and history. Ground-penetrating radar uncovered irregularities under the earth, precision core drilling extracted samples from unprecedented depths, and archival research in monasteries in Europe supplied background long lacking in the narrative. When at last a borehole, deemed secondary to the conventional Money Pit, encountered something hard, history altered its direction. The borehole cut across a chamber, a subterranean vault painstakingly supported by centuries-old oak timbers. Cameras pushed into the darkness uncovered an interior untouched by modern incursion. Clay and resin sealed the walls with such precision that water infiltration had been repelled for centuries. This was no haphazard hole, no geological accident. It was purposeful, deliberate engineering, 17th-century European workmanship maintained in perfect condition. Inside was more surprising than gold spread out on the floor. Heavy, corroded chests bound with iron straps and a faded emblem known to historians, the double cross of the Knights Templar. Within them, an incredible selection of items lay in wait. Gold bars stamped with Spanish colonial mint marks. Silver chalices of exquisite craftsmanship. Relic boxes covered with precious stones. And, most significantly, wax-sealed scroll cases, their contents possibly more valuable than the treasure. A lead seal bearing a cipher that was identical to symbols carved on stone discovered decades ago on Oak Island. The cipher had resisted interpretation until now. After decoding, it equaled fragments from a Templar ledger found in a lost Portuguese monastery. This was the link missing. Oak Island's secret was no longer rumor, it was proof. The treasure was a conscious deposit connected to the departure of Templar survivors following persecution in the early 14th century. The discovery shocked not due to the magnitude of the discovery, although the fortune was staggering, but what it signified. The Oak Island hoard was not merely treasure hidden from grasping kings. It was a refuge. The Templars had selected this isolated island as a treasury for relics, maps, documents, and religious objects too valuable to entrust to hostile forces. Among them were maps that predated Columbus, showing coastlines of the Americas with unexpected accuracy. Religious artifacts and documents indicated the Templars were carrying something more than treasure, they were carrying knowledge, culture, and a worldview they wanted to keep. The engineering on the vault itself was their masterstroke. The fabled flood tunnels, their existence doubted for decades, existed, built with cunning so that intruders were defeated. Log layers, clay, and charcoal in the money pit were purposeful stratigraphy, designed to confuse and hinder. For more than 200 years, it succeeded beautifully. Only now, with the help of modern technology and historical detective work, was the code broken. Historically, the find means something astonishing, that the Templars, or at least a breakaway group, had transatlantic naval capabilities centuries ahead of Columbus. The find does not necessarily indicate colonization, but it certainly demonstrates that knowledge of North America was in hidden communities. The artifacts were evidence of a blending of European, Middle Eastern, and perhaps even pre-Columbian themes, and this leaves one questioning cultural interactions previously written off as impossible. Archaeologically, the site is no longer a prehistoric legend of treasure in the ground, it is an open window into medieval geopolitics, exile, and cover-ups. Under attack from both the French crown and the papacy, the Templars dispersed. Oak Island was one of their refuges, not only saving riches but intellectual and spiritual knowledge as well. Codes, maps, and booby traps indicated this was not an accident. It was meant for safe successors, or maybe to never be found. That it defied discovery until this time is a testament to their art of hiding. Just as intriguing was the design of the room. Each of the chests lined up with geometric accuracy along stone inlays that created a pattern consistent with Templar symbolism. The room itself was not merely a vault, but a place of worship. Climate control within the sealed space, constant air, dry interior, subtle whiffs of herbs and resin, protected even fragile parchment and fabrics. Red banners and sashes covered with Templar symbols survived with incredible color. Implements, compasses, and measuring rods discovered within implied the builders did not only arrive with treasure but also with the tools to construct and repair the vault throughout the years. Amphorae of olive oil, wine, and herbs-infused honey suggested ritual use, marrying function to ceremony. The relics spoke of culture and migration. Geometric symbols on gold bars were unexpected. Silver cups drew together European Gothic and Levantine motifs. A crystal reliquary held papyrus scraps swathed in silk, perhaps Jerusalem relics. A chest carved with runes traced out a sea travel itinerary from the Mediterranean to North America, a route combining European navigation skills with local information. Ventilation shafts masquerading as natural cracks, a collapsed backup entrance, and coded handbooks written in several languages further attested to the vault's remarkable sophistication. Among the most stunning finds were illuminated star charts on vellum, with constellations viewed from the North Atlantic, including comments on magnetic deviation, information ahead of its time. Stone mooring stations along the beach were replicated medieval docking methods, demonstrating the island served as an operating harbor. A round stone disc inscribed with lunar and solar cycles indicated sophisticated navigational equipment. Personal items, a carved whistle, ivory dice, a bronze family crest ring, also served as reminders to researchers that behind the engineering were real individuals, craftsmen and monks who endured exile. Religious artifacts provided another layer. Boxes held shards thought to be from divine locations in Jerusalem, and perhaps the discovery could be raised from historic to religiously redemptive. A gold sheet thin and inscribed with unfamiliar script, a mix of Phoenician and Greek, indicated knowledge transmitted through civilizations that predated the Templars. Dialectic variation among the finds, ciphers, scripts, multilingual inscriptions, indicated a network of enormous scope covering continents. Environmental signatures also furthered the worldwide character of the discovery. Imported herbs and coconut fibers along with non-native grasses corroborated maritime trade. Wood analysis indicated imported Spanish wood valued for rot resistance, demonstrating logistical prudence. Multiple entries into the vault over decades were indicated by tool marks, possibly for inspection or further deposits. All re-entries were carried out with precision, preserving the traps. The psychological dimension of the design was evident, layers of traps and false clues discouraged intruders, reinforcing the island's aura of danger. The travel to Oak Island was not random but the endpoint of a diaspora. Political expulsion drove the Templars underground, relegating them from knights to shadow seafarers sailing treacherous seas. Their expertise in hidden roads, sea concealment, and fortified havens saved them from death. Oak Island, isolated but strategically located, was fortress and sanctuary at once. Its choice indicated geography and symbolism, consonant with Templar habits of selecting spiritually meaningful locations. Cultural fusion was evident in all artifacts, prayer beads with both Islamic and Gothic designs carved on them, Persian ceramics, European coins, Islamic caliphates, and Central Asia. The variety of objects indicated a network that did not allow boundaries, an international order exercising power even in exile. Latin inscriptions on bronze plaques and dates suggested a codified chain of custody, a system of stewardship that guaranteed continuity. Most deeply insightful were the maps. Their precision, their labeling of landmarks, trees, and tides, attest to first-hand exploration of North America. Coupled with navigational tools and an awareness of magnetic deviation, they imply voyages far earlier than history has recorded. These discoveries compel a reassessment of exploration chronology, pushing the European knowledge of the New World back in time. In the end, the Oak Island find is more treasure than money. It is the tale of survival, concealment, and prudence. The Templars did not hide wealth in desperation, they constructed a citadel of knowledge and belief. Their vault stood for centuries, conquering invaders and guarding a legacy for an age to come beyond their own. Now revealed, it connects the medieval era to the contemporary, challenging historians, archaeologists, and believers alike to rethink what they believed they were aware of. The island, a cautionary story of fixation, is exonerated. Generations who pursued myths are rewarded with the truth. Oak Island did have a secret, one greater than anyone dared hope. But even as mystery is unraveled, others arise. What do the scrolls contain? Who precisely placed each